a man comes around like flaunting like money, you're gonna attract a girl who falls for money,
who just wants money.
You know what I mean?
Literally,
so it's like
you
if you can't be mad at yourself because that's how you picked her up.
Yeah,
like, you got her because
she
you
only
were
wanted me
flaunting
for
your
my
money.
Yeah,
And
you were
then,
over there being a peacock. Yeah. And she was like, okay, let me pluck all those feathers. Yeah. And then when you got no more feathers, she's like, oh, fucking women are horrible. No, dude. Yeah. Well, you're just in the wrong spaces.
That's also like one thing. It's like, I like for me, honestly, like a man who like flaunts everything he has is icky. I was like, you don't need to tell me like you have this, like, you know, materialistic things. Tell me, like, if you're just telling me like, oh yeah, like I have this car, I have this, or like, you know, I have like 10 bands sitting on my wrist right now, and like you're flaunting it in a cocky way. Yeah. It's icky. But it's like, but if you start with maybe a story of how you even got here, then you have my attention.
Right.
It's like that's more meaningful. It comes down to like if I go out on a date, I want to like sit down and have at least a nice like conversation, because it's like, if not, I'd rather be at home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be doing some other shit if I'm gonna sit here and just like, because I can't do like fake talk or anything,
pleasantries,
you know.
and,
I'm just platitudes. Like, you know what, like I'll just cut it short. Like if I'm really not feeling it, like just be honest. Like you said, like I don't really care. Like if we don't work out, we don't work out. It's cool. Like I know what I want, and if it's like, if you're not what I want, then like what are we doing here? Let's just go. Like what are we doing here?
It's funny. You were talking about my teacups, right? Yeah. Like those are mine. Like I bought those, and I bought them because I like them, right? Yeah. And I bought them because there's a old quote that I really like when I was reading a whole bunch of stuff a long time ago. But this woman writer, I'm gonna shame myself eventually because I can't remember who it was, but she said she's whiskey in a teacup, and I really like took to that quote, and I'm like, man, that's kind of like the perfect woman. Like you got to be hard to handle. It's an acquired taste. It's not for everyone, but like in a pretty package, right? Yeah. And I'm like, so ever since then, I just every now and then if I see teacups that I like, I get them, right? Yeah. And I remember one time this was in Houston, at my house, and the teacups were out, and I had a girl over, and they're like, why do you have teacups out? And she literally said, that's kind of like really feminine. And I'm just like, okay, like that's fine, I guess. Like I like my teacups, like whatever, right? And then I think it turned her off. Like we eventually still saw each other eventually, like for a couple times, and then it ended up fizzling out. But I remember it took to me, and I'm just like, why do you but like in her mind, she was looking at it, and she was like, oh yeah, this is kind of a red flag already. Like this, like why does this guy have teacups, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I can see that, because maybe stereotypically, like, why would a guy have teacups, right? But also, like, you don't know anything about me. So you don't know how, what, where, why, like, what's the rationale, blah, 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 this and that. So it just, I found it to be very, like, oh, well, I guess, like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like I was flaunting it. It was just there. We were already at my place, you know? Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, you know, I wasn't insecure about it. I'm like, I like my teacups. Fuck it. Like, what, you know?
You're secure.
Yeah, like, what, like, one, I don't have to explain it to you. But then two, like, so
she
what?
Didn't even ask you. Yeah. Like now that has a whole new meaning.
And I could have, and I could have told her like, well, I got it because it represents the kind of women that I like independent. And I could have like turned it back and tried to like big her up. But in that moment, you're not that girl, so I didn't want to do that. Yes. And in that moment, I'm like, you actually aren't a hard, you know, an acquired taste or like hard to handle, you know, in a pretty package. You're just a pretty package, and you're kind of hollow, actually, you know. And so I don't really fuck with that. You know what I mean?
It's also like what you say. It's like I feel like also a main thing is women like are hard like to handle, and I feel like it always comes down to like if a woman like wants to express emotions for a weak man, like that's like being dramatic, or like, you know, like how you said, if you go and date someone who is not like emotionally there, like cannot be emotionally there for you, then they're not going to be like that safe place that you can like freely be yourself and like tell yourself, oh, like, you know, we all have bad days. So it's like, and then it's like if you go and tell a man that doesn't talk about emotions that you had a bad day, it's gonna be like,
just get over it. You'll be all right.
What do you want for dinner? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, like I want to talk.
That sucks. Like, or something like that. Like,
I'm sorry you felt that way. What would you guys consider like green and red flags? Not now that we got into the whole thing, right? Like,
I've always told her, not necessarily well, yeah, I guess a man that is in tune with his feminine, like, energy, I guess. Because
what does that mean?
I guess, like, I like a guy that is in tune, like, with his emotions and, like, knows how to, like, if we want to cry, like, just fucking talk, like
you saw the Land Before Time, you gotta cry,
like,
dude. Yeah.
You know, I've told her one of my favorite guys that I've dated is because he was very in tune with his, like, feminine energy. So, like, he would do, like, things like that. We would talk about, like, our emotions, stuff that I've never really done with, like, a lot of men that I dated up till that point. He would, like, if I wanted to sit down and cry about something, like, he would cry with me and stuff like that. I don't know. I think I like that's a green flag. Like, I think a man that just knows how to talk about his emotions.
So then a red flag.
I hate that's even like a thing that I even have to say. I think a lot of men should do that. But yes, a red flag would be
somebody that's not in tune.
That is just like, I haven't cried in years. You gotta go.
I cried when I was 5.
You gotta go. Do not talk to me.
Or the type of men that it's like, oh yeah, like,
these are the same men. These are the same men that won't cry at a love story, but will cry whenever, like, the soldier dies.
Yes.
In, like, a soldier movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they'll be like, he died for his country. I'm like, shut up. Yes. Fucking relax, bro. You won't cry at the girl that, like, they found love again, but, like, the guy that died because he like, the terrorist shot him. Yes, you're like, good.
Or they post their car more than their girl or something.
Oh, I lost my car. My car got impounded. I crashed my car, and they cry after that. Joe, that's crazy. Okay, I'll give you that red flag. How about you?
I guess I think for me is like a guy who tries to come off like too perfect or too ideal. Like, I think
that's a red flag.
It needs to be a balance, because then I also feel like you're creating like a persona, like a fake, you know, like it's like all a flaunt. Like,
I've had that happen with girls before
where
too.
It's just like, if you come off too strong, where it's like, I guess, I don't know the way to word it, like, care.
Like, you want this, like, I'll give you this. Like, because you want it.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Which is like, that's why I'm figuring it out, like, as well. Like, that's why we date, because we run into guys who, like, show their, like, you know, true, like, fuck boy right away. Okay, great. At least, like, you're showing me, like, who you truly are. And then it's like, then you have a guy who, like, may act like too perfect, where it's just,
but it's
like,
secretly the fuckboy.
Yes, but it's like you're trying to cover up something here, you know, like, it's like, sus, you know. Yeah. So
worse than a fuckboy.
I don't know, like,
fuck, a serial killer or some shit. A drug dealer. Yeah, that was a good callback. That was a cool. Gosh. Yeah, in my mind, I went straight to, like, what's worse than? Sorry.
But yeah, I mean,
no, was a drug dealer is good. A drug dealer is good. I apologize. Okay, that's good. So then a green flag would be somebody that doesn't hide his flaws.
Yeah, and it's like, just yeah, like, your life isn't, like, perfect, like we said, because it's like, if you come off where, like, every day is, like, perfect, nothing goes wrong, then, like, you're also like that's not true. Like, you know, everyone, like, we all have hard times, like, and bad days, so it's like, share it, you know, like, tell me, like, if something really is going on, or just be honest, like, maybe something didn't go ideally how you wanted it to go, and it's like, okay, like, that doesn't mean we stop there, let's reroute it into, like, a new thought, you know, like, stuff like that. But like I said, yeah, like, I feel like that's, like, where I'm at. It's like, I'm barely, like, trying to, like, figure out, like, these, like, you know, green, red flags, like, but it's also something, like, I don't go out and look for, so it's
because, like, you're busy.
I'm just, like, I guess
I'm 24 too, you know, she's, I mean,
but you're busy.
We're still all young, but, like, you know what I mean? She's, like, barely, like, I feel like getting into.
I'm glad you said that, because I would tell people I'm 32 and they're like, "Oh, you're a little old." I'm like, I don't feel old.
No,
I feel young as fuck.
We had this conversation.
Yeah, I feel.
Like, how old do you feel?
Yeah, I'm like, I feel great. I feel like I'm just fucking hitting my prime. Like, I feel like like nothing can stop me.
Yeah.
That's good. I feel like those are good though. These are like women. These are like really women answers. Mm-hmm. And if you ask guys that, they're like, "Oh, red flag is if BBL, or not even that. Sometimes they're like, if all she wants is money." Like,
it's always money.
It's always money. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
If I can provide for myself and you can't provide for me, then, like, it's over. If I really
or like when a guy says, like, if she can't go half on a date, you know, they're like, I'm like, come on, dude. Really? That's the red flag? But then they'll be like, well, they get mad whenever we don't pay for everything. And I'm like, well, maybe you're hanging out with the wrong girls.
Or don't invite me to this. What? This is a date you planned.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been on a date that I didn't pay for because I invited. If I invite you, my assumption is I'm willing to pay for it. If you do the check dance with me, though, it's kind of hot because I'm like, I know you're willing to do it and you're really fighting me for it. And I'm gonna win this fight because I might have already paid for it. Like, especially if I'm taking you on a date, I might have already talked to the waiter outside of it beforehand. I might be like, look, here's the card. Like, you know, but if they do the dance with me though, I'm like, okay, at least I know that, you know, where it's going. And then for me, it gives me an excuse to be like, okay, well, how about you get the next one? And then now I know there's a next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I just personally like my mindset is like I'm not ever gonna be limited by money, right? Ever.
Yeah.
So I like a man that like even if things don't work out with like all these girls he's dated up until me, he doesn't care that he has like not even wasted money because he is learning things about himself. That's the whole point of dating.
That's the whole point. Yeah, it's a good point
about yourself. And also, there's free things you can do. So like that's
bro, let's go to the park.
You know,
you try to spend money at the park.
Yeah,
like,
we're talking about romance, right? Like you could do a really cute ass picnic somewhere. Like you know.
Yeah, y'all really love picnics.
Yeah, we do love picnics.
Yeah,
but like
I love
I'm just
picnics.
saying, like you know, you don't have to go to that extent, but like
picnic on the beach, next level.
Yeah.
Picnic on a rooftop, level 3.
Well, that's also another thing too.
Take notes.
It's like wanting, I guess, like someone who like thinks outside of like.
I just gave away secrets.
Box,
yeah, I just gave away secrets right now.
Like that, like she said, like it's not always just like somewhere. Like a restaurant or something like more personalized, like, you know, because it's like if you're really going to date someone, like the longer you date them, you get to know them, and then it's like you need to be more like specific in what you're doing, like as in like it gets more personal. Like it's like oh, like she mentioned like I don't know, she likes this, so like how can I incorporate this in like our next date where it's not just like a first date vibe always, like dinner and then
right.
a drink or something, you know what I mean? But more personalized. And it's like, and I think that's what also like some men don't realize. It's like it could be like a literal like cheaper like date, but it's more romantic.
It's more meaningful
because of the thought that went behind it versus like taking her to like the most expensive steakhouse downtown and like you know, it's like I've had both, and it's like I prefer like, you know, the more personal ones where it's like, wow, I feel like really special, like, you know.
Do you prefer that one because in relation to the steakhouse, you know, you can get your own steak?
Yeah, well, it's just like, well, and we talked about this because it's like, well, having a sister is like awesome because it's just like, no, I don't want to go with him. Let's go, me and you. Like, you know, like, why would I go out on dinner, like, with a guy that it's like, I really don't want to go, like, when I can just take my sister.
If you like that video, please make sure you like and subscribe. We're on every social media platform. It really helps out in the algorithm if you do that. And it also helps us make better content for you in the future. We are 100% self-funded, and we have so many ideas that we want to get out to you guys, but we won't be able to do it without you. So please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We really, really, really appreciate it. Until next time, see you around.